Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. My name is Dave Jusko. I'm here with Mike Suarez, and we bring this to you through the Comedy Cellar every week to not just have a great time with everybody and all our friends in the chat room, but to promote the Comedy Cellar. The Comedy Cellar, the place where I have been the last couple of days. I was there on Wednesday, and I was there last night. And actually took my niece, went down to see some of the 7:30 show, a random 7:30 show. Boy, was my niece impressed. I mean, obviously I know a lot of the guys. We were just talking about a random 7:30 show on a Monday night. It was as good as you could get at any comedy club. I'm saying it's better than any place I've ever been. It's just they're the best of the best. And it really delivered last night. It was super fun. And then my niece and I got really drunk, which was super fun also because she's cool. So that was very exciting. And you got to love the Comedy Cellar. And it's open 7 nights a week. And they have one in Las Vegas if you're thinking of going to Las Vegas, because I believe the NFL draft is in Las Vegas. Liza, Judy. And Judy, do you really need to ask that question? You know damn well it was Liza. There's no way I had that good a time with Dory. I mean, Dory's a delight, but let's face it, she's also a stick in the mud because, well, she has to be to become an orthodontist. So, anywho, they don't listen to this show, so I'm all right. But yes, it was super fun. I'll send you a picture, Aunt Judy. It was really fun, and she's legal to drink. I'm saying, so it was all good times. Anyway. The NFL draft is in Vegas coming up, I guess, in a month. So, you might want to stop at the Comedy Cellar if you happen to be there for the draft and enjoy that show with our friend Mark Coco Cohen, who is the house MC every week. Have you been there yet, Mike?
Not yet.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Well, last night they had the basketball national championship. And we'll just show you who won our little contest in a minute. Kansas ended up beating North Carolina, and they say it's the greatest comeback in the history of the NCAA championship, but they just keep saying that, and maybe it is, but it's stupid. Kansas was down 15 points at the half, but like everyone's always down 15 points at the half. That's why, like, when you look at this tournament, you're like, that doesn't matter. I think Gonzaga was down that much at the half, like on some of the earlier games. I guess it just never happened in a championship game before. But it doesn't seem like that's a big feat. But I guess I really don't care if, they won or not. I mean, nobody really cared unless you're from Kansas or North Carolina. And quite frankly, our good friend Nick Griffin, who's actually from Kansas, bet on North Carolina, which is hilarious. So now he looks, but he said, I hate Kansas. So I don't know what that means. And I was asking him all these questions today while we were at lunch about what Kansas is like. I'm like, wait, did you live in Kansas or do you live in Missouri? Because, a lot of people from where I live, we don't understand how that works. I mean, now being older, I understand that Kansas City is in Missouri, which is just stupid. But I didn't know that for years. And there's a Kansas City, Kansas, from what I'm to understand, right next door. And apparently he's on the other side. But apparently also the drinking age was different when he was growing up. So you could go to the other state and drink, I think it was 19 and 18, because that's what happened to me too. In New Jersey, it was 19, but 18 in New York. So we just had to cross over to Staten Island, the great borough of Staten Island. Ugh, I don't even want to think about it. It's not a lot of laughs, even though Pete Davidson keeps taking all those hot girls over there to see what it's like. I can't believe they still go out with him after. He's like, yeah, we could live here. Again, if you've ever been to Staten Island, you would understand all of this. It's awful. Just a couple of things one more time, because I'll just continue to talk about it at the Oscars. Again, this time, Amy Schumer said she thinks Will Smith slapping Chris Rock was all about toxic masculinity. That's a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, she's right. I'm just saying it's ridiculous because, yeah, we know that. We need more from Amy Schumer. I mean, all you have to do, Catalina, you don't have to apologize for being late. We know you're in school. It's only 6:05. You're the greatest person that's ever been in this, When Aunt Judy's late, we know why, because she's been drinking. But if Catalina's late, we know she's in school. She's in another country. I would say another planet. And you're only 5 minutes late. Relax. Nice to have you, of course, though. And what I'm saying is, we know the toxic masculinity you can just see, as we talked about last week, after he slaps him and he turns around like he is all that. Like he just did the greatest thing by punching a guy in the face who had his hands behind his back. Oh my God. That is just so uncool. Look at Catalina with her world clock time, but the show is at 1,800 hours. Well, that would be 500 hours more than when we actually start, then, isn't it? Then I'm doing Spinal Tap stuff. Anyway, so she was like, and she goes, it was all of a sudden Ali was making his way up, right? Because Chris Rock points out, he's the guy that portrayed Muhammad Ali, which means he's kind of at one point jacked up like Muhammad Ali, and he's punching like a little skinny, scrawny guy in the face, and this guy thinks he's just done this unbelievable thing. It is really upsetting, and I'm still upset about it. And the fact that he resigned from the Oscars, like, that's not good enough. He needed to be fired and asked to leave. If he resigns by himself, that's not a punishment. We need more punishments. Chris Rock's brother today said they should take away his Oscar. They probably should, because it would be kind of great, because then it'll be like on the listing of all the years, it'll put like a little asterisk that where it normally says posthumously for Heath Ledger, it would say, grand douchery. In the it'll have to be not an asterisk, it'll be a little anchor, and you have to look at the bottom for grand douchery reasons, for assaulting the host. That would be worth it. And that would be, that's not a bad idea. They just put that in anyway. He can keep his Oscar, but on the Oscar site, when they have all the listings, Marlon Brando and Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman, they have Will Smith with a little anchor, and it says a complete douchebag. That would be terrific. They can't take away his Oscar, Anonymous says, and let Roman Polanski and Harvey Weinstein and Woody Allen keep theirs. Excellent point. Excellent point.
Theirs were given out before their rules were established.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Otherwise, they probably would have. Maybe not Woody Allen's, because his was never legally proven, but the other two.
Exactly. That's what I keep telling people. His was never legally proven, but that's why I was talking to my podcast this week, Just Got in the City. Please join us on Patreon as well. So I can live this life I've become accustomed to, with my video games and nonsense. Anyway, I was saying that there's no audio or video proof of Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein or Roman Polanski, right? We know it's all true. There's no doubt in anyone's mind, but there's no proof or evidence, right? But with this, there is video proof. We all witnessed it. So
it happened at the event too. So yeah,
I mean, that is, damn it. I didn't want to talk about it again, but I can't help myself. I was on Live from America, which is a part of the Comedy Cellar podcast world. There's this show, Live from America, and Live from the Table, where you're on with Noam, the owner, and in this particular case, Live from America with Hatem, who's adorable, and at the Live from the Table, we have our friend Dan Natterman, who hosts that show.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about it for another half hour, because it's hard not to talk about it, especially since it's a fellow comedian, right? I mean, I wonder if we probably wouldn't be talking about it, Mike, if it wasn't a comedian that he punched.
Yeah, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, yeah, we wouldn't have cared. That's the funny thing. He's not doing that to Amy Schumer, so that just makes it even worse. Anyway,
smack Denzel Washington. I don't think I would have cared as much.
I wouldn't have cared at all. God, I really can't stand that guy. So I've never liked Denzel Washington's acting. I never had a problem with him as a person. Who cares? And now I've seen him post all this stuff about the Lord and all this stuff in referring to Will Smith. and now I really hate him. Now I am done with Denzel Washington. I was never into him anyway. I always thought he was just a dull actor. So now I'm just like, come on. Marcy, what are you talking about? Is this a joke? You know about oh, I see what you're talking. No, oh yeah, you don't. It's live from America and live from the table. I thought you were talking about my podcast. I'm like, Marcy's all in on Just Get on the City. She is a Patreon subscriber at the top level. That means she gets the bonus videos. That's the most exciting thing that there is. The bonus videos. And when I say exciting, I mean it's tepid. But then you can see the pictures that sometimes I talk about and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun. Also, Mike and I would like to announce, as long as we're all here together, that next week on this show, we will be doing it live from the Comedy Cellar. There is a Comedy Cellar. The Christmas party is next week. So we're all going to be there. So we're like, let's just do it. I know their Christmas party. It's a restaurant. It's in April. Many restaurants have their Christmas party in April or May, even when it's not a COVID season. So we're going to be together. So we'll do this show from the Comedy Cellar, which means we can invite a whole bunch of people from the cellar to come up and join us in the conversation that we do here every week on the Comedy Cellar Nightly. So that'll be awesome. So look forward to that next week. That'll be super, super awesome. You don't have to do anything except sign on like you normally do, but Mike and I are going to move locations. Catalina, it's funny that you mentioned that because we would like you to, Mike was just saying if anybody wants to be his +1, you want to come up here, we'll have you come in. But I guess I'm just worried because this show starts at 6 and I don't think the party is until 10, and that's too much drinking time for me. So I'm worried. I don't know what's going to happen. Last night, well, see, I'm pretty good for 5 or 6 hours. Last night I started drinking at 7:30 and I got home at 1. So I guess I'll make it. I'll figure it out. I'll pace myself somehow. Also today, I wanted to talk about that in the news today. Martha Stewart's, I know we like animals on this show. So Martha Stewart's cat got killed by her dogs. And the dogs look really mean. And she's quoted as saying the dogs were like, the cats were uncomfortable with the dogs and they were afraid of the dogs. So why she was keeping these cats, like she was like, oh, my cats are grateful when the dogs are away because they're really threatened by them. And then the dogs ended up killing this cat. And then all these celebrities are saying, as we now hate celebrities with this Will Smith thing, they're all saying, oh, I'm so sorry for you, Martha. But it's Martha's fault. Like, she was keeping these cats in fear of these animals. Sometimes you have too many animals and they don't get along. You got to know that. And you got to separate it. And you got to be smarter, Martha Stewart. It's your fault that cat got mauled by your killer dogs. And I'm pissed about that. Really pissed. That's the cat that died. His name is Princess Peony. Well, I guess it's a her. Yeah. Yeah. That poor cat. I mean, that cat doesn't look like a friendly cat, but it was terrified of. No, that's not Ghostbusters Anonymous, is it? I thought that's from Meatballs, I think, isn't it? Dogs and cats together. Was it Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Oh. I always thought it was Meatballs. I guess you're right.
They said them both. I think dogs and cats living together. Yeah,
living together. That's what it is. Okay, right. It is Ghostbusters. Good one. Right, dogs and cats living together. Right, that's what he says is going to happen if they unleash all the ghosts. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. What's that?
I'm trying to find the dogs that may have done it, but they can't.
Oh, they have a picture. I had it today too, and I threw it out. It was in the post. Also, they had an article today about the taxpayers. Well, not me just now, but mostly me when I was working. Have to pay $30,000 a month for the Secret Service security to protect Hunter Biden in Malibu. It costs $30,000 a month to protect Hunter Biden. See, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. If you're the president's son, no matter what president you are, you deserve Secret Service protection. It was a pain in the ass for me. Donald Trump Jr. lived across from my house for 4 years. So the Secret Service was outside and taking up all our parking spaces for 4 years. It was a goddamn nightmare. But what I'm not going to say, like, you can't do it. If your dad's the president, you deserve it. That's what comes with being the president's kid. You get Secret Service protection. That doesn't bother me tax-paying money for that. I don't see that as a thing I'm going to get angry about.
Also, it's a misnomer too, because like those guys are going to get paid anyway. They're not hiring extra Secret Service people. They're just the ones assigned to him.
Right, exactly. So
never it's anything like that.
Yeah, I don't see there's any reason to get upset about that. I mean, nobody likes Hunter Biden, but nobody likes Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever liked any of the president's children's for the years?
The Obama's kids.
That's true. Everybody liked, what is it, Sasha and what's her name?
Yep.
And what's her name? Yeah, that's true. Everybody liked them.
They were kids. They weren't adults. That's probably why.
That's true. But everybody liked Chelsea Clinton, or we were told that we had to.
Yeah.
And
again, she was a kid. She wasn't like the Bush girls are in their 20s getting drunk all the time.
Oh my
so
God,
they were fun, but
I hate that girl is on the Today Show. It drives me insane. It makes me so angry that she's, just I don't know. It just doesn't seem fair. You're getting drunk and you're making a fool out of yourself. Your dad's in the White House, and all of a sudden you're Malia, right? That's what it is. But it is Sasha, right? Margaret Truman. All right. I always was a Bess Truman person myself. That's my favorite first lady. But
Jfk Jr., that is one everyone seemed to like.
Oh my God, everybody loved that guy. He was so handsome and so cool. And his wife was so angry. My belief is that his wife was so on him while he was flying the plane, just yelling at him, and that's what maybe caused him to crash. He's like, I swear to God, I'll kill us both. I'll kill us both. Shut up. That's the way I like to think about it in my head. But we don't have those issues. Our president is married. Catalina, right. Did he just win? I know you were having the elections, right? Or did somebody just won, right? And he has no kids. Where is it? Oh, yeah. See, those dogs, they look like they're up to something, right? Those two. So that's why it was troubling me. You see those two in the front, and they were like, let's kill the cat. I mean, it's like a Disney movie. Those dogs look pure evil. And the other two that she's sitting with just went along like, you will come along with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Chows can be aggressive.
Yeah. But this is Martha Stewart's fault. And anybody that tells you otherwise is an idiot. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just like saying, I don't know. I think Will Smith did the right thing. Oh, thank you. Also, I read today that there's a German guy that got 90 shots of the vaccine for COVID because he was trying to steal vaccination cards. And he was trying to sell them, fake vaccination cards. And he got 90 shots. He just got discovered like today or yesterday. So the article doesn't go on to say whether he ever contracted COVID or not. I mean, like, I'm dying to know. I'd like to hear more on this story, because if this guy gets COVID, then what are we all doing? He had 90 needles. So if he gets COVID, I would say, let's never take another shot because it ain't working. So let's put a pin in that, so to speak, and we'll come back to that. Now, the most important thing. McDonald's is bringing back spicy chicken McNuggets. I love when McDonald's brings back the McRib or whatever, and this is what they do, because like I say in my act, they have nothing left except to bring back these things that people seem to like and then take them away so they get traction. It's really annoying. Just put it on the goddamn menu. But I can't deny I'll fall for it every time. And now every night after dinner, after the show, I order something. I usually have Baked Ziti or something as a little treat. Oh, what a show I did today. I deserve something, It's so pathetic. But that's what I do. And now I want to get I might get McDonald's today, which I really don't want because I might have to get the spicy McNuggets. I did find out they are in my neighborhood. They're not available everywhere, but my McDonald's does have them. Well, Angela, if I had to choose the spicy nuggets or McRib, I'd go the McRib every time because I'm a chicken wings guy. So the spicy nuggets are just kind of, well, you know what I do? I'd get both. I'd get the McRib and 6 spicy nuggets. Who am I kidding? I'd get 2 McRibs. And you know what? I don't want to talk about it. It's really bad. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for Taco Bell to bring back the Mexican pizza. Why can't they do that the way the McRib sandwich comes back? Everybody loves the Mexican pizza. They took it away. It was my favorite thing on the menu. And I have Taco Bell every Thursday. I mean, everybody knows that. When I come back from my mother's, I treat myself to Taco Bell. I have to do these little treats. Again, I don't have a job right now, and I'm looking, and things are bleak financially. But and the thing is, I don't need to make that much money. The way I treat myself is by getting some spicy nuggets or Taco Bell. I really just need an extra $100 a week. I can live my life. I don't ask for much. I don't want to mansion any yacht. I just want a couple of fast food items, and then I'm good. I don't need fancy restaurants. And you should see how happy I am when I get excited about, ooh, food's coming. But here's what I was thinking today. Obviously, I went out with Nick to our diner today, and I won't get the eggs there because they're too fluffy and gross. Maybe I'll get them next time. I'll take a picture of it so you can see what I'm talking about. But here's the thing I was thinking about, and this is the most interesting thing. You tell me if I'm crazy. I already know I'm crazy, but because even broaching this subject is crazy. Scrambled eggs. In New York City, and I don't know where else, maybe in New Jersey, whatever, when you order scrambled eggs at a diner, they come out as an omelet. Drives me insane. But in California, or at least in Los Angeles, when I order scrambled eggs, they're great, and they're scrambled, and you can put stuff in it. You can have a scramble mixed with, vegetables, and it comes out scrambled. I don't know what the difficulty is. I don't know whether it's the air or the humidity or something where they can't make decent scrambled eggs here. But why, when you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet, are those the best scrambled eggs I've ever had? How can you make a vat of scrambled eggs that are the most delicious scrambled eggs anyone's ever had, but you can't take 2 eggs and make delicious scrambled eggs? Mike, can you explain that?
I don't know. I think those are usually made from a mix as opposed to 2 regular eggs.
Oh, maybe that's the thing. I enjoy the mix. That makes so much sense for somebody. Oh my God, Liz, do not tease me. You live in Canada. You don't know what you're talking about. She says Mexican pizza is coming back in April or May. Do not tease me. You live in Canada. We don't know. Is that Don't you do it. Is that coming here? What's happening? Wait, is it? Andrew just, I'm defrosting a Dollar Tree frozen meatloaf dinner for Uncle Bob. Oh my God. David father taught me to boil water. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, Aunt Judy does not cook. She's never cooked. In fact, she was such a good aunt, even though she couldn't cook. She did try and make us banana pancakes when we were kids, me and my sister. But instead of bananas, she used a banana liqueur, which was hilarious. Do you remember that? That is true. But that was before people knew you shouldn't feed alcohol to 8-year-olds. Well, Marcy, why would you? Most people don't eat from Taco Bell. She said she's never had the Mexican pizza. You don't. I don't see you as a Taco Bell person. You have kids and you're a teacher. You're smarter than that. I'm an idiot, and I'm trying to kill myself with fast food. That's my way of committing suicide. Oh, there it is. Wait, it's returning. Here's when it. But that was from January.
So there was a petition done by a fast food influencer on Instagram. So they're finally doing good. And so probably in May, like she said.
Oh, well, that's perfect. Like I said, every Thursday, I'm like, well, I'll get this and I'll get that, but it's still not good. And the tacos aren't as good as Del Taco in California, which are much better tacos. Yes. They're more like the tacos I make myself, which I did do this Saturday. It was taco night.
Yeah, Del Taco and Taco Bueno are much better fast food tacos.
I don't know Taco Bueno. Is that only in Texas?
No, I don't know where they're at now. There used to be more in Texas, but
put up that thing that Anonymous said because it's nice. Somebody was complimenting your amazing research on the fly. That is so true. You are good. So before we go to the slides today, I mean, this is all we're doing. Oh, right, we want to do the March Madness thing. I don't know why, but I, I guess I forgot about the Grammys. Did anybody even want to watch an award show after what happened with the Oscars? I wonder what those ratings were. I mean, it looked like it was kind of a fun show, but I hate the Grammys because I hate all award show except the Oscars, and now I hate the Oscars. But the Grammys are like all over the place because no one knows what the difference between record and song of the year is, so it's just stupid. So I looked up a couple of things because I mean I don't even know who's there. I mean I know Bruno Mars and he's really good, but I'm looking at the chat room. If you're talking about food, it catches my attention. Yeah, all-time low. I was going to say because yeah, first of all, the Grammys were used to be in February, and secondly, no one wants to watch an award show after what happened last Sunday. I think people are fed up. So good. That makes me happy. And like I said, the Grammys are stupid because no one knows what's happening. Bruno Mars is good. So I was looking up best rock song, which I can't even believe there was still a category for. And I don't even know whether they announced that on a television event. Like so I thought it was like the Oscars where they were like, film editor was announced earlier that day or something, because nobody makes rock songs anymore. So who was nominated? The Foo Fighters, Weezer, the Kings of Leon are the only, one. Paul McCartney and Eddie Van Halen's kid, which is ridiculous. But then you have to say, well, who's making rock music anymore? Which is just sad as hell. But the Foo Fighters ended up winning. And the question, of course, is did they win because Taylor Hawkins died or was it decided in advance? I don't know. Well, we'll never know. They won, and they always win because whoever's voting, just like Metallica always used to win Best Metal Band because that's the only one anybody knew. Right, Mike? Like when they were voting early on, when that category first came about, they would always Metallica because that's all they knew. And it's like they know the Foo Fighters. Now, today, you might want to check this out for yourself. I listened to all the rock songs, the 5 categories, and I watched the videos they made for them. And Waiting on a War is the Foo Fighter song, and that video is not good, and it's way too close up on old people's faces. I don't know what these guys were thinking. Whoever directed that is an idiot, and it's stupid and sad. It's called Waiting on a War. The Bandit is from Kings of Leon. It's a good song, but a bad video. They didn't put any time into it whatsoever, and they obviously didn't care. The Distance, which is the Wolfgang Van Halen song, this is Eddie Van Halen's son, is not that great a song, but the video is good because it's all pictures of Eddie Van Halen with Wolfgang as a kid. So it's all home movies. So that was kind of great. It has him and Valerie Bertinelli taking him home from the hospital the first day. So it was a good moving video. And if you worship Eddie Van Halen the way, I'm sure me and Mike do or did, it was kind of great. And the Paul McCartney one, Find My Way, is not a horrible song, but the video is stupid. It was, I assume, made during COVID. It's just him and it's just useless. But the Weezer song and video is fantastic. It's really good. I highly recommend after this going to see the Weezer song. It's called All My Favorite Songs. And these guys made a really good video in this day and age, which nobody tends to do anymore. And it's really good. As you know, we were talking about on the Billy Joel A to Z podcast, we were talking about Pressure and Billy Joel making one of the first concept videos with that song Pressure. This was really good. Mike, you got to check it out. All My Favorite Songs. It's so good. It's so relevant. And they must have put time and effort and money into it. It's really good. I highly recommend it. And I feel like that song should have won because of the video was so good. And it's just too easy to vote the Foo Fighters as the ones. And I know Angela said Metallica won because they deserved it. I agree in many ways, but not every year, I think. I just that's not the way it works. There was plenty of other bands that could have, I think, won in separate years. But like I said, the Academy at that point was all made up of old people that didn't know what heavy metal was. They were, right, Mike? They were like jazz musicians or something voting on
Jethro Tull won that one year, yeah.
for heavy metal. Right. They had no idea. A better video than the Godfather rendition. Well, yes, I'll say yes. And Eddie was a babe. Liz, there is pictures of him with his shirt off. He looks unbelievable. I mean, you're sitting like, oh my God, if that was my dad, I would be a different person, because I would just say my dad is so hot. He looks so cool. And he's got Wolfie on his lap, and he's playing the piano over him. It's cool. It's just sad because, I'm angry that he's dead. And then it goes up into, because then he turns into kind of a fat kid, and it's depressing. But otherwise, it's it's really good, because he's just so, I don't know whether he's good or not. I don't know. What is his band called? Mammoth WVH, which I guess stands for Wolfgang Van Halen. But if he has a band, I guess it's called Mammoth or something.
Yeah, Mammoth WVH.
But it looks like they had a really good relationship, I guess. But then I'm not sure, because the end of the video has Eddie on the phone on a message that he played saying, geez, I hope I can see you soon. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. Right?
Mm-hmm. And Lucy K won.
Yes, I saw that for Best Comedy Album. How do you like that?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't announce that there, but I'm glad he won. I'm glad they're not, ruining. There's a guy whose career should not be ruined. That's really pathetic what happened to Louis. That's when people were just taking shit too far. Or am I just being prejudiced because I like him and he's my friend? I don't know. Yeah, Olivia Rodrigo won Catalina, but she won Best New Artist, and I think she won 3, and she broke one. She was carrying all 3, and she broke one. But of course she was going to win. I mean, she's the flavor of the month. So I think she won for driver's license, or she sang it there for sure. I'm going to share my screen, Mike, right, just very quickly to go to the end of our March Madness thing that nobody cares about, but we'll just clean this up. This is the tournament. As you can see, Kansas played North Carolina last night, and they won. There's Catalina's favorite mascot, the what does she call it, Mike?
The ugly bird.
No, she doesn't call it the ugly bird. It's some other word. You just
the
said
weird bird.
The weird bird. That's what it is. Yeah. It's a jayhawk, whatever that is. It's a chicken hawk. So this is what happened with the Final Four. All of us got everything wrong except for Mike, who picked the 2 winners to go to the championship. He just did not pick the champion.
Yeah.
The 3, me, Nick, and the chat room, we just sucked and picked the exact wrong teams. And Nick did really good. And then this is what it was going into Monday. Nick was way ahead, but because with these rounds, you get 16 points here and 16 points there. That's an additional 32. Could Mike pull it off? Just missed out. Mike, if you had guessed the national champion, you would have won.
Yeah.
Even though Nick had all those wins, you would have won because you would have gotten an additional 32 points. But super handsome Nick, look at this photo, huh?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Ladies, am I right? Is he good looking or is he good looking? Look at that headshot. He should be a movie star. There's perfect hair. His eyes are perfect. It's a great pose. It's a cool shirt.
Look at Teen Beat Nick. I love that.
I know, right? How is that not his headshot on? He's always worried if people aren't going to show to his shows. Why isn't that on the board of every comedy club? Who's not going to that? I mean, women, anyway, whatever. Should I keep that up?
To answer your 2 questions, a jayhawk is a fictitious bird, so it's not a real bird. That's just their mascot. And then Kansas City is in Missouri because the city existed before the state.
But but well, then why didn't they just make Missouri, Kansas, and Kansas, Missouri?
Well, it already was Missouri. Missouri existed. Kansas City, Kansas was not a state till after. And then the river divides them or something, so that's why.
Yeah, I asked Nick if he ever goes to the beach, and he goes, "Where am I going to the beach?" But I said, "Well, I meant like the river. Do you go to the Mississippi River? Is that like a?" I'm curious how things work if you don't live by the shore. I've always lived by the beach, so I don't know how it works. Like, when you go to like Lake Michigan for a day, it seems horrible to not be at the beach. The ocean is the best. It's exciting, and it's scary. See, Anonymous, more amazing research on the fly by one Mike Suarez. See, getting huge fans.
Thank you.
Next time you're in Kansas City, Missouri, everybody's going to come out. All the people that are like, see, he gets it. He knows how it works. All right, let's look at the slides I have prepared today. I think they will be fun. I hope everybody feels that way. I am now sharing the screen once again. And how could I not open with the spicy chicken McNuggets? What's up? They don't look spicy, but they look delicious. Oh, God, I really do love pictures of food. What's the matter
they're not
with you,
that
Mike?
spicy, but they do taste different.
You've had them?
Yeah.
They taste different in a good way?
In a good way, yeah.
I've had the Wendy's. Oh, right. Daniel Craig has COVID, and he's in Macbeth, and they had to pause the performances, right? So Sarah Silverman has a show on coming to Broadway or off Broadway, which I'm going to see short. I've seen the reading already. It's called The Bedwetter. And I was like, can I come to some of the rehearsals? Because normally that wouldn't even be an issue. I would totally be at the rehearsals, and I could probably even help on the rehearsal. But she goes, it is so strict. No one can come because they are terrified that one of the actors might catch COVID. With these kids or something, when they go home and they catch it. So, it's so regulated and strict because you don't want a Daniel Craig thing happening because, these are all limited runs. And then you're screwed out of money and lots of other stuff. It's really bad. That's a good question. I mean, I like the sweet and sour sauce for the regular nuggets, but with the spicy chicken, they said they have a Szechuan sauce, but it is not at my McDonald's.
It's not any of them. They're always sold out.
Because that is the best. They used to have this sweet chili sauce, which was fantastic. Have you tried the Wendy's spicy nuggets?
I've had those before. Yeah, I like the regular ones.
Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good. Liz, you're saying all your coworkers are getting COVID, and that's in Canada. So what is it, coming back? Yeah, but we're not closing stuff down anymore. It's over. This is the way we'll handle it now. Everybody just, I guess, just quarantines, and that's it, right? We're not closing anything down anymore, right, Mike? I mean, you got to figure it's over in that sense.
No, at this point, yeah.
Nobody can handle it anymore. Oh yeah, I was doing this. Okay, so there's Joe Biden eating pizza with the troops, and that pizza looks disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, that is gross. I think he was in Poland, and that pizza just looks so gross. But look how excited they are to be with the president. I love that. I mean, that makes me really happy that they are totally into that the president's there, no matter who the president is. It is exciting, especially when you're fighting for your country,
Yeah.
I think that's cool. And, you sit down but I wonder if he ever ate it or whether it's just a photo op. Because that's annoying. He should at least eat it. We don't know. So this is, if you were listening to my podcast, Just Go in the City, which came out today, you heard my rant on this place, Federici's, or whatever the hell it's called, in Freehold, New Jersey. And this is apparently Bruce Springsteen's favorite pizza in New Jersey. Well, I had it, and I thought it was stupid. And that's just another reason where I don't care for Bruce Springsteen. I mean, this pizza sucked. It even smells bad. When I went into the restaurant, I'm like, oh my God, is this it? I was expecting this. They told me it was thin crust. I do like the thinner crust, but this just looks greasy and bad. I mean, listen, I know pizza is a personal choice, but this doesn't look appetizing to me. And what was it? Yeah.
Gas station pizza.
That looks appetizing to me. This frozen Celeste pizza looks more appetizing to me than this stupid pizza, which wasn't very good. And people keep saying like, "Oh, it's the best pizza in town. It's the best pizza." They're wrong. So this is a place called Spumoni Gardens. Now, this is Sicilian pizza, which I also don't like. But am I crazy, or does this look like a much better pizza? Maybe I am crazy because I like sauce. I concentrate on the sauce.
I don't think a better pizza than the other one.
That's what I think. Wait, Marcy says that. Thank you. Oh, he believes he's going to prefer the pizza. That's right. That's right. Right. That's right, Marcy. My mother in the geriatric place says that she has better pizza than when the pizza I bought her. I bought her this pizza. We ate it together, and she's like, "We have better pizza at the senior home." So I'm going to try that, and I bet you it's just as good. This Celeste pizza is outstanding. I've had it multiple times. It's good, and it looks more appetizing. And this is Spumoni Gardens in Brooklyn, very famous place. But I don't love Sicilian pizza, but I do love that lots of sauce. Now this was my mouth is watering now. Okay, are y'all happy? This was Fiore's. This was the best pizza I've ever had in my life. This was my friend ran this restaurant right by the Comedy Cellar called Fiore's, and stupid COVID closed it. This is the best pizza I've ever had in my life. He
Fiore's is great.
concentrated on the sauce. What did you say, Mike?
I love Fiore. It's right next to the Village Lantern.
Exactly. So it got closed because of COVID. I used to be there all the time in the back. He would just bring out pie after pie. He was the coolest guy, and he made the best pizza and really good wings too. But look how beautiful! And as this guy couldn't be better. The deal, you get 2 slices and a 40 for $10.
Yeah.
Now this guy knows how to bring in the customers.
That place, the workers would bring the leftover pizza to the Lantern after they were closed.
Oh, they would? Well, I think he told them to do that.
Yeah.
He was great. And once a year he would have everybody gets free pizza in October to celebrate. Meanwhile, the place was named after a firefighter that died in 9/11, his friend, Mike Fiore. And so every year we would celebrate the unfortunate anniversary of that guy's death and the anniversary of the pizza place opening. And it was always really fun. And he would just keep bringing out pies, and I couldn't stop eating it. I mean, it was so good. And Halloween in the Village is so crazy. I was sitting in the back working with them during Halloween. It was so crazy. I mean, this place was the best pizza, and I don't know where I'll ever be able to find this again.
Yeah,
they just don't
great sauce, great crust, and the cheese is good. It was perfect.
Right, Mike? If you ever find a place that makes it like this again, really, I should open my own pizza place and just ask Steve for the recipe, because this place needs to live in Manhattan somewhere.
Yeah,
it is not cool that it doesn't exist anymore.
I haven't been to the place that replaced it.
I'm not sure if that's even open anymore.
Oh, wow.
Because I just walked past it yesterday, and it was closed. So I don't know. Maybe they're just not open on Mondays. I don't know. This is a fire that's happening in Boulder, Colorado right now. It just, again, looks like Close Encounters or something, but it's called the NCAR fire. And I looked up why they keep calling it the NCAR fire, and there is no reason. Like, I cannot find why it is called the NCAR fire. Does anybody know? Mike, do you know?
I'm trying to find.
I'm saying they said, I looked up a bunch of stuff like, why is it called that? Why am I supposed to know what that is? Is it a special fire? I don't know. I'll move on. This is a Japanese manager of a baseball team called the Hodaido Nippon Hamfighters. I guess they're a professional baseball team in Japan. And it was their opening day on Tuesday, as it's going to be our opening day on Thursday here in the States. And this guy is the manager of the team, and he is coming in on a hovercraft. And it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't stop thinking, first of all, I mean, can you imagine Tommy Lasorda coming in on a hovercraft? How excited people would have been.
It wouldn't be flying as high.
The Dodgers manager. Right. But what would be better than Buck Showalter coming in as the new manager of the Mets, coming in on a hovercraft. People would go crazy. It would give the Mets this kind of spark that they need to show it's a new era of fun. And no, Aaron Boone is definitely not doing it, but they don't need to. The Yankees don't need that. The Mets need it. They need the spark. I'm sure there's a lot of other teams. Probably, Marcy, the Reds need that spark. Have your manager come in, something like that. It'll get everybody going, you know. Of course, you'll look like an idiot if your season is a big loser, but you'd be a living legend if you had a good season with playoffs and stuff, right, Mike? Don't you think?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. You don't have to come in on a hovercraft, but I mean, a jetpack would be just as fine.
The NCAR is the National Center for Atmospheric Research.
I never saw that listed anywhere. How are we the what? How come I've never heard any other fire called that before?
Well, it's the organization that has the fire.
That's all they kept.
It's a controlled fire.
I've never seen that before. They just usually say it's the Boulder, Colorado fire or something. I've never seen it named that before. It's a stupid name. Marcy says the Reds need to sell. The owner needs to sell. He sucks. Well, I used to like. What was that? Wasn't the owner of that Marge Schott that really racist manager that was hilarious? But like she was kind of racist, but she didn't know she was being racist, so everybody kind of let her get away with it. Classic. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen because it looks like it's some sort of scary movie, but it's also awesome. These are people in Georgia, which used to be Russia, I guess, just like the Ukraine. So they better look out. And they're really giving it to Putin, which was awesome. Oh, Marcy, that was her. I thought I was right. But doesn't it look like a scary witch movie? It's because it's the way the kids are dressed that's freaking me out.
Yeah, that's.
If they were dressed as normal children, not children from like
Midsommar.
The what?
Midsommar.
Midsommar. What's that?
Oh, it's that movie that came out a couple of years ago. Things like this happen.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a movie. I couldn't think of one. I was trying. What was that? Oh, Paranormal Activity, but that's not even a good one because it has to be like like Brahms the boy or something. And these are unbelievable air balloons, hot air balloons in Australia. And I would never fly in this one because it just looks like, wait, that doesn't look like a regulated. I know you were trying, but this looks like the most dangerous one. And if you're going to do that, then make ones for me and Mike. Now, who wouldn't fly in those? Most people would be, would you guys in the chat room want to fly on these, or would you be, I think I'll go with the regular ones. That's the question. Because if something were to happen, it would be like, yeah, I should have gotten into the Mike Suarez one. Damn it. Picked the wrong balloon. This is in India. And this guy, for some reason, is washing his horse, but he's leaving the camel up here. And I just thought it was funny because the camel looks like he's like one of those Flintstone animals that is like, it's a living. Because he seems to have some sort of like weird harness on him, like a ladder or something, or maybe
that's his saddle.
It looks like a saddle.
The blue thing?
Bad for your ass. It looks like bars, I guess, to climb on, but it doesn't look very comfortable.
No.
But it looks like he's up to something, but it definitely looked like these Flintstone ones. Thank you, Catalina. Yes, getting high with me takes a whole new meaning. Obviously, I was pretty high when I thought of this concept. That bird's getting up after that, or this, my favorite. It's a living. That's what they're saying. After, I don't think they had any other lines in the Flintstones, Mike, did they?
Not that I know of.
No, they would turn to the camera. This is a scissor bird. And they would turn to the camera after he'd go out the window and he'd be like, it's a living. And they would basically be doing the Norman Fell look to the camera. They invented it. That Norman Fell, when he makes that look to the camera in those old Three's Company episodes, I still laugh out loud. It's still really funny. Meanwhile, the other day I saw one where I'm friends with Richard Klein. He's been on this show before. The guy who played Larry, and there's an episode where I guess Larry told um, who's the girl that came in later, Priscilla Barnes, Terry, that Jack needed a lot of feminine attention or something. He was trying to get Jack, hooked up with Terry, and they're like, "Well, what?" When they finally figured out what the misunderstanding was, they're like, "Well, what kind of low life scum would ever say that to somebody?" And then Larry comes in a towel. He goes, "Jack, we've been invited to a big hot tub party upstairs." It was just one of the great entrances that's the part I ever wanted, be the next door neighbor Larry guy. I mean, that's why I love him so much. I can't even believe we're friends. Jack, we're all invited to a big hot tub party upstairs. So I know we like animals. So this dog got stuck in whatever they call the LA River, which I don't know what that is. And this dog got stuck in there. He's rescued and everything's fine. But and there are other scenes where I guess the river is bad, but you can see they're trying to get him, but I don't know whether he's scared or whatever he's doing, but it's hard to get out of these walls. But the river doesn't look that high that there's a problem. So I'm not sure if this doesn't look like an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And if this is the LA River, which they used to call Thunder Road, right? In the movie Grease. This is where he left Craterface in the dust. I don't see why the dog couldn't just go a little further and just go up this. I'm not exactly sure why people had to be called in. I think this is the LA River or something. Does anybody know? That's Craterface getting stuck. I mean, it looks like the same water that dog is in, right? No? It's just me? All right.
Checking.
I don't know if you know about Craterface, and everybody hates him because he was so evil. I wish it was Martha Stewart, Dog Anonymous. That's where they deserve to be, stuck in that river. But Craterface, apparently, Mike, was really gay.
Ah.
This is him on another show, on a television show called Angie, with Donna Pescow from Saturday Night Fever, where he played a dance instructor. He was so gay, he died of AIDS. It's just funny because he was such a bully. I never in my life would have. What an actor! I was fooled. Apparently, he was really gay. I don't know. Craterface.
Oh, so the dog had an owner. That's who was trying to rescue it. And then there's portions of the river that are fast moving. They can sweep the dog away.
But it seems like they all end up to this, where you can just sit on the thing like Sandy and then run up the sides.
So usually the river's like that, but if there's a lot of rain, it can be fast moving. So the dog wouldn't have been able to get to the sides.
There was a lot of rain. There was a lot of rain. Who expects rain? That's why you move there. Catalina, you say, was he happy? Do you mean the dog or Craterface? I mean, that's why they came up with the word gay. Of course he was happy. Look how happy he is when he's in his own environment. All right, everybody. Yeah, you're damn right. These things don't happen with cats. Cats are too smart. And that cat knew those dogs were planning something, and Martha Stewart let it happen. And if I didn't feel I was going to get blowback from Snoop Dogg, I would say that online. It's too risky. And of course, our weekly fashion show pick from the New Delhi fashion show on Thursday. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't know who's wearing these clothes. I don't even know where they get money to make these clothes. Who's buying this? Who's going out in them? Still confused. And this is in Thailand. And they made a bunch of mannequins for a tourist site in Taiwan. They're Navy officers. Again, I don't know why they're not doing this in the Ukraine and fooling the Russians, because the Russians are stupid. They are stupid. They are so stupid they don't bring enough gas to run their tanks. So they're stupid. They would definitely fall for the Blazing Saddles trick. I am positive. This is a funeral in India. And this is what a funeral should be. Lots of color. It's a funeral for a police officer. Wouldn't this be much more uplifting than everybody being in black? These are what funerals should be, I feel. And this is
a question. Why were the mannequins so oily?
Oh, that's so they look awesome. No, they're not oily. They're just shiny. Yeah, I thought it was women at first, and that's what caught my eye. So I was fooled. And then I keep looking at them. I'm like, they're hot. And then I'm like, wait, they're guys. Just relax. And they're mannequins. I have a problem. These are some idiots. Remember, I was talking about how stupid marathons are. These are morons that do a 6-day race in the Sahara Desert and a marathon. I mean, this is like a joke when we're kids, like, well, it's like, it's like the Sahara in here. I mean, it's like, sometimes you don't even know it's a real place. Why you'd ever want to do a marathon in that heat when you can be in the air conditioning watching TV or watching this show? I just don't get people. Look at these idiots. Look at them. Morons. Morons. Wait, Anonymous, you did one of what once? You did a marathon in the Sahara Desert or a marathon? Because that I can understand, but this is stupid. I mean, unless you did it, then I'll take it back, because then we'd like to know how it is. But no offense, I can't imagine I knew anybody that was in the Sahara Desert Challenge. Oh, just kidding. I can't even run a mile. Okay, that was gonna be like, I can understand being in a marathon, but I cannot understand this marathon. Right. You could barely run a mile. How could you run in this heat? Maybe it wasn't hot that day. Where does it start? Where does it stop? And this is a woman in San Jose, California, running through a poppy field. Poppies in full bloom. And I say to myself, this is one of those things like walking through a park when it's dark. If you're in Central Park and you get mugged or worse and it's nighttime, isn't that kind of on you? For anybody. I mean, it's like you're looking for trouble. I believe I say this on my podcast this past week. I went through Madison Park. Mike, you know where that is on 23rd Street where the Shake Shack burger place is?
Yes.
So I walked through there about 4 o'clock because it was just an easier way in. And it's not a big park and it's very well lit. And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, if anything happens to me now, it's my fault because I'm the idiot walking through the park at that time. And there was a guy whistling. It was really weird. So if you're the idiot that's walking through poppies, and I don't know what happened to her after, and you don't learn your lesson from walking through a poppy field as a human, or then that's on you, because we all know what happens when you walk through poppy fields. You get sleepy and you pass out. And then what happens? I'll tell you what happens. That scarecrow could have his way with you. And don't think that's not a thing. You're saying like, oh, Dave, now you're going too far. Am I? Look how connected they are here. What's happening there? What'd you say, Mike?
Look at Ray Bolger's skeevy look.
See what I'm saying? But she's into it, because then they did. Look at this. What's happening here? First of all, that's terrifying. I love the out of costume thing. But what's happening here? What? And then when they got older, they worked together again. And then when they got older, what? Now who's crazy? I am, because who's ever going to think of this? Ever. Except our friend Scotty from the Oscar thing. But he would be so angry if he found out I was doing this right now. So angry. So there was something going on between Ray Bolger and Judy Garland. Oh, my God. Would you ever think you were going to watch a YouTube show with a crazy person that was going to be like, he's spreading gossip about Ray Bolger and Judy Garland? I can't imagine what he's going to do next week.
It's time people knew.
It's time people knew. And I have to get the word out. But yeah, right. She told him she liked him best of all right in front of the Tin Man Lion. It is rude. It is rude when she says that. But I think they get it. He was the first one. You know what's really funny is that's what Katie Couric said to Matt. Who's the guy that got Me Too'd?
Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer. on her last day. And like Dorothy says, I'm going to miss you most of all, which is hilarious now because, thank you. Yeah, this is what I do. But anyway, I guess that's our show for today. Boy, I had a really good time talking with everybody today and talking with Mike, obviously. And you guys in the chat room are awesome. So here's the story for this week. Alana and I, my friend who I do Billy Joel A to Z with, if you go on Instagram, if you are, we have a lot of our Billy Joel A to Z people here. Obviously, we're doing our 1 year anniversary show, whatever that is. Because Mike, I don't know if you know, but we do Billy Joel A to Z, right? We do an alphabetical order, every song in alphabetical order. So we came up to the Q's. So there's no Q songs.
Yeah.
So we're just having a thing, and it also comes on our anniversary. So we're doing a Q&A about, you can ask Billy Joel questions. We can all talk with each other. And Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, I believe 3 o'clock Chilean time, unless Catalina said they were changing the clocks. You could find our Zoom ID and log in, and we're going to do this and just talk a little Billy Joel and just talk for an hour and have a good time for our anniversary. That's Saturday at 1 p.m. Other than that, Mike and I will be back next week at our regularly scheduled time, but we will be together, not virtually. We will be. Anonymous can't make it next week, so oh, I thought it was Passover and Easter, right? Because I'm like, well, wait, maybe I can't make it either. But no, that's right. The Seders are Friday and Saturday night, so I'll still be okay on that day. But right, it is Passover and Easter, and I think we'll wish everybody that next week. I think I have another week to wish everybody a happy Easter or Passover, right? Anyway, so next week we'll be here at 6 o'clock, our normal time, but we'll be together. Mike and I have only seen each other in person once in our lifetime. Yeah. So this will be our second time together, and we'll bring in some guests, anybody that's working at the Cellar. It's actually the way the show should be. It's actually the way the show Live from the Table was supposed to be, but Noam gets too serious. It's supposed to be the comics that are performing there and then come by the table, and you never know who's going to show up. So we will be what Live from the Table used to be and should be and will be again someday. And it should be super fun. Catalina, you're not going. How can you not go to Mass or doing anything for Easter? You're going to a Catholic college. I would assume Easter's your huge day. Going to a Catholic school. She's a Catholic girl. Her favorite song is Only the Good Die Young. I don't understand. You're not doing anything for Easter? This is weird. But anyway, yes, Mike and I will see you next week at 6 o'clock, and we can't wait. And hopefully I'll be able to see the chat room. Mike said he'll be able to put up a lot of the comments. I won't be able to see it like I normally do. But that's okay. We'll be having a great time. We'll have great guests, and that'll be a great show. We should probably do that more often whenever Mike's in town. So we'll look forward to that next week. Otherwise, a great night again, everybody. We'll both see you next week on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. Good night, everybody.